Your coffee, guys. It is time for JW's radio. It is Saturday morning. That's right. You're tuned in right here to BATJAC J.W, the channel right here. You should be watching this on the BATJAC channel. Make sure that this is where this video is being found. We'll talk about that. All right. Oh, I got my phone here. Okay. Might receive a text or call. We never know. I don't edit these things. We just go right there. We just let it fly. So I got some shout outs to do here. Let's get started with that. We have Joe P. As always, he's tuning in. It's really nice to see the same guys tuning in. You're so dedicated. I really appreciate that. Mr. Holster, man, that guy, I can't believe they let that guy in here. Hey, Mr. Holster. Mr. Zonacat 1, Edward Petty, Glocked 17, which, by the way, you do really cool stuff. I really like those. He does the GoPro or the POV kind of look of competition shooting, and it's a lot harder than you actually think, because when you get there, adrenaline's going, all that stuff. He makes it look easy. 454 Packer, the Gun Enthusiast, which, by the way, the Gun Enthusiast has tagged me in a 7 questions. That's why also you see that this video is titled a little differently. So we're gonna get to that. Thanks to the Gun Enthusiast, my brother there, he has tagged me. So, all right, we have Bob Hartman, Arizona Ghost Riders. If you like the cowboy western motif stuff, definitely he is a cowboy reenactor, period correct, his history purist, I guess you could say. Check his channel out. He does a lot of that stuff. I've been having fun watching his stuff. The Gunfighter 45 ACP, my favorite caliber always. Well, hey, we got a 45 ACP out here. Varen, he's another diehard guy. Really, again, thank you so much. And a lot of you like Varen. You follow me on my vlogs as well. Really cool. Panama Brad, same thing. James Drennan. Again, thank you, James, for the idea. The movie videos that we do reviews, I got a movie right here. Thanks to James Drennan. He kind of put that notion out there, and hey, we're doing it. So, PR Veteran, he's been a subscriber of mine for a long time. Old PR Veteran, man. He's a funny guy. EB Saint and Scott F. And of course, we have one other special shout out to make to John Marston. John Marston messaged me a few days ago. We were talking about the Remington single action revolver. Really cool, actually. It had to remind me to go back and look at it. And it's actually, wow, I'm like, I do need one of those. We were going back and forth, and I said, John, I need to save up some money and get some more cowboy stuff going. And but no, big shout out to John Marston. He's over there in the UK. So if you're watching, there you go. All right, we had some interesting things happen on this channel. Those of you that have been keeping up with things, I think a lot of you saw the video. Yes, a group of my videos was stolen from this channel within 24 hours. About 50 videos that were stolen, probably more now that we're making this. But, it was, I want to say a big thank you to you guys, the viewers right here, because you really you went out there. I thought, I was sitting there thinking, I didn't know what we're going to do. Of course, obviously reported it myself, impersonating this channel. And the fact that somebody, can't you come up with your own ideas? Why do you have to rag on somebody else or steal somebody else's material? But in a way, in a sense, I'm like kind of flattered a little bit. Wow, somebody actually thinks that the content here on this channel is that good that they have to steal it. So, but no, I made a video. I wanted making a video about it because I wanted you folks to know, and it was really a big thank you to Brian Schmidt, I think it was his name. Thank you, Brian, because he brought it to my attention in the video where we talked about the Ruger Security 6 357 Magnum. He posted a link in that video saying, hey, this guy's reposting your videos here. And I looked at it, and it wouldn't have bothered me so much, 1 or 2 videos, big deal. But this guy has actually taken a lot of videos. Just like 50, when I looked at it, it was like 48 videos or something like that. So that's kind of like, it kind of sucks a little bit, to think that you do all this hard work on this channel to do that. Had really good support from a lot of you. The old 1911 gave me some really good support, and mentioning to watermark my videos, which I'm going to be working on. I just have not been able to figure out to do that yet. But I mean, in a sense, all the watermark does is just let the people know that the video you're watching belongs to this channel. So I think it's pretty obvious. Most of the community out there kind of knows, me and my videos. So that's the other, I guess, thing about putting your face out there, is they know you as who you are. So, but anyway, is it going to slow me down? Not at all. I think it was really cool that you guys out there got together and backed up me and backed up this channel. It really shows the cool factor of that. That was really neat, and thank you guys for doing that. You guys jumped on it. You reported the channel. I got a lot of really awesome support from you all, and that means a lot. That really is really cool to see that kind of support right here. So I thank you. I thank you very much for that. Now, there was a lot of you that jumped in on that and made sure that was reported and taken care of. So I really appreciate that, guys. Okay, so we talked a little bit throughout the week. We did a Model 29 video. In fact, you probably recognize this background. This is where we did it. We talked about the Model 29. My love, my romance with the Model 29 is super. It's such a sexy gun, I tell you. And of course, Dirty Harry. Who doesn't like Dirty Harry? What gun guy doesn't like Dirty Harry? But Dirty Harry is one of my favorite cop films for sure. It's just so awesome. I even did a couple of videos called Magnum Force, which is ironically the second Dirty Harry movie is my favorite Dirty Harry movie, because by then, to me, if you ask me, the first one, obviously, whenever you have like a franchise like that, the first one is it's always going to hold its own, because it's the classic. It's the one that started it all, and in a sense, it's still that shaky thing that they don't know if it's going to work, what it's going to be. So, my opinion, they really did not know that. I feel they didn't really know yet that the Model 29 44 Magnum was going to become just as much of a big star as Clint Eastwood himself. Eastwood already was a pretty big star, but if you ask me, Dirty Harry launched him into just orbit, because after that, he did all kinds of awesome movies, if you ask me. From that point on, I mean, not saying that the ones prior to that weren't good, such as Kelly's Heroes, and the where Ego's there, Eagles. I see. I can't. But the war movie. There was a lot of war movies. The Beguiled was pretty interesting. The Beguiled is like man, that's a strange movie. And then, of course, what a lot of people consider the precursor to Dirty Harry, Coogan's Bluff. But I think right there, when Dirty Harry hit, that was it, man. That really took him there. But the reason I like Magnum Force is because now they're coming back at this, and they're saying, okay, we know what they like. We know what they like, what the people want to see. And of course, I mean, what doesn't say that better than the opening credits itself, with the big red background, which is awesome, with his hand holding the big old 44 Magnum, and he repeats his infamous line. It just doesn't get better than that. And then, of course, you have the bad guys running around with Colt Pythons. So it's like this thing, he's got the Smith & Wesson Model 29, and you got these guys with the Colt Python. So it's like the Smith & Wesson versus the Colt thing going on. It's kind of neat. Although Briggs, Hal Holbrook plays him. I think he's got a Smith & Wesson Model 19 snub nose, by the way. One of my, I really want that gun. If I can one day snatch one up for fairly cheap. Alright, so, and then we talked about speaking of Colts, my favorite Colt double action revolver is a Colt Diamondback. It's like a mini Python, really. Why do I like the Python or the Diamondback so much? Well, not to rehash or recap so much, we said it a lot in video, is the movie Brannigan, John Wayne. again, that was like, you look at the first opening sequence of that movie, it's just all these up close shots of that gun laying there on the table with his badge and bullets, and only a gun guy is gonna get all giddy for that, like myself, and of course somebody that's a big John Wayne fan. So and then we brought out the Ruger Security 6 357 Magnum. That one was on loan for this channel. I was gonna go out and do a range video with it, but we just never got the time to do so. I can always borrow it again and take it out to the range and do some stuff, which I probably will wind up doing. We got to get to doing that. But it's such a phenomenal gun. It's also in really good shape. It's in really, really good shape. And I wanted to, it reminds me a lot of a Model 19 Smith. I have the 4-inch barrel, I brought it out in that video and kind of showed them compared to side to side. And so, but yeah, I'm kind of a Smith & Wesson fan, but boy, that gun at first glance, you don't really realize it's a Ruger. Ruger had made such a great gun right there, and it's built like a tank. I still want a Ruger Alaskan. I still want that gun. That gun is it's such a little tank, and I'm thinking, since I have the 629 in a 3-inch barrel, my Ruger Alaskan, I'm thinking maybe buy a 454 Casull. And I think that's what one of you have, right? Isn't that what you have? 454 Packer. Okay. All right. So I got tagged in 7 questions, and this was from the Gun Enthusiast. And the Gun Enthusiast had tagged me. This is the 7 questions been floating around the YouTube community here, our really cool niche community that we got here. It's loaded full of really awesome people. I'd like to go ahead and name them, but there's so many that I fear of forgetting somebody. But there's a lot of us over here, and I'm really just very fortunate to be a part of it. I remember coming across into the YouTube game, and man, all these other guys were just like, they were already pumping videos, and they had a following, and I was coming in, and I was like, man, this is so cool. Like, I can't believe this. Like, we're all friends, but we're not even like face to face. We have this computer screen or this cell phone screen separating us, but yet we feel together. But okay, anyway, I got tagged in these 7 questions, and the first question is, why do you do YouTube? Why do I do YouTube? Well, I started off really as just like, all right, let's see what happens. I really didn't know much about it, so I did a couple videos and just tested it out. Mind you, I was trying to figure it out how to do this. But mainly, I started to do it because I was working at a job, a gun counter, and it was because it was a box store type gun counter. It was, in the beginning, it was shaky because they didn't want me to sit there and carry on with a customer. And to see, the unfortunate part about that is a lot of times out here, because of all the permit process and things that they got to go through to get a gun, a lot of these people have never bought a gun. To most of us gun guys, buying a gun is like, it's nothing. We know, 4473, the federal form, we got to fill it out. Easy breezy, we're done. But in this state, they require you to, because they don't do the NICS program check in the store, they actually do that in the police department. So trying to explain to these people doing that, and when they buy a gun, that's they're registered. Everything is on paper. It's a lot of red tape. So they're not just gonna go. Yeah, it's not like basically going to the supermarket buying a thing of milk out here. So it's a commitment. So a lot of times they want to know a little bit about what they're purchasing to hopefully buy the right thing. And of course, guns aren't cheap. Okay, they're an investment. You're anybody that's willing to throw down $500-600 for a decent handgun. They're gonna definitely want to know about it for sure. I know I want to know about it. So, but yeah. Anyway, to cut that question short, that is kind of why I started YouTube, because I wanted to further help people. I really enjoy working at the gun counter, is what I do now, just for a different company, but just helping people just, hey, this is what I learned, and I'm willing to share it with you. Hopefully the video will help somebody else out. So that's kind of why I started to do it, really, and it just became fun. It's fun. I've always been fascinated with making film, making movies, stuff like that. So, all right, where did your YouTube name come from? Well, most of you probably already know, big John Wayne fan. So BATJAC Productions was John Wayne's little gig, so I changed it around a little bit, put BATJAC J.W. Really is a homage to the Duke himself, because I just love the Duke. Great American, great actor. You know, what you see is what you got. So, all right, and how long have you been doing YouTube? I've been doing YouTube for coming up to 3 years in July here next year. So, well over 2 years is how long I've been doing it, and it's been so much fun, and I can't believe it's been that long. It doesn't seem very long to me. It seems like just yesterday we were doing the very first videos. So, all right, what do you record your videos with? I record it with a Samsung 1080p camera. I don't really know all the details on it. I just know that it's the one I really liked. I remember seeing it at a box store that I worked at, and one thing that made me choose it was because you could really zoom all the way in and the picture was still clear. So that's why I use it, and it makes it easy. You can do some minor editing on the camera itself, but I really don't edit anything, so it you know, but it's nice to have it when you need it. So I try not to edit anything. In fact, the majority of my videos are just unscripted. We turn on the camera, let's go. You just can't fake this stuff. Next thing is, do you create your own thumbnails? Yeah, I like to take. I always had the idea of, whenever I'm doing a video, if I'm definitely showing you a gun, I want to be able to show you the gun. I want to be able to have you take a nice close-up. It's why I started the close-up HD videos, because I wanted to show you the gun as close as it could be to the camera. I mean, as close as a video is going to get you, without, of course, seeing it firsthand right there in a gun shop or a gun show or whatever you're actually looking at it. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. Yes, I do create my own thumbnails. Intros and outros, do you make your own? I haven't done too much of that. But the ones the early videos, some of them do have intros, outros, little add-ins, little annotations and things. Those are all done by my really good friend. He's a classmate of mine. His name is the Buddha, and he's shown up in one or two videos. I think he may be in one video. There may be a picture of him or something. He's got a out here, living out here in the islands, he's got an ukulele and a big cigar. He's in one of the, I think it's just a photo of him. I can't remember what video it is, but he has done a lot of my that high-tech work. So a big thank you to him. But other than that, I really don't do much of the intro, outro. And the final question is, will you ever quit YouTube? Well, I have no intentions at this moment of quitting YouTube. Unless, of course, it creates so much drama that it's just not fun anymore, I guess you could say. Yeah, I hope that that this nasty thing where somebody stole my videos doesn't turn vile, and of course, there's a lot of things that come with the territory of doing this stuff. You're putting yourself out in the public eye. You're really just, you're out there. Your videos, your content's out there. It's just it comes with the territory. I think the old 1911 and I, we were talking, we kind of, he shared a little bit of some of this, history with some creepy incidences that has happened, on YouTube. And I'm certain it happens. Just the same with anything. It's weird is when you are out there and you're projected, your image and everything is out there. It just, for some reason it changes some people. They just kind of go crazy, and hopefully nothing serious like that escalates ever from this. We're just trying to have fun here, and I'm just like you, and we're all flesh and blood. We're just trying to have entertainment in life, right? All right. So let's pile it on. We're getting right through here. Brought out my favorite 1911, the old Colt reproduction of the Warhorse. Figured it made a nice little addition to the table. But all right, so let's talk about a movie. How about that? We have John Wayne Cahill, United States Marshals, United States Marshal. One of my favorite Wayne. They're all my favorites. This one's really cool. I watched this a lot when I was a kid. I saw it originally on TV, And I remember watching it a lot. There was something really neat about it. It's not one of those loaded with action John Wayne movies. I mean, there's action in it, don't get me wrong, but it definitely keeps you going. It keeps you wanting to, but for me, this is actually in itself, this is one of the more darker westerns that he did, if you ask me. It's a lot more darker. There's a more sinister side to this movie. With, of course, portrayed by George Kennedy. He really, it just shows you what a amazing actor he is, because George Kennedy has done, I mean, he can be such a happy-go-lucky guy, you know, as a storekeeper in Creepshow 2, to, you know, the cool buddy in the Iger Sanction with Clint Eastwood, and a really sinister guy in K.L. United States Marshal. I think he really is just he's frightening in it. He's really frightening, and I think this movie has a really a darker element to it, because it's about his sons, and his son is mixed up with these guys, George Kennedy and their group, and they robbed this bank, and you know, so there's a lot of things that went, you know, kind of wrong there. And he's got Neville Brand in it, and he plays the tracker, Lightfoot, for John Wayne. And it's interesting, as Neville Brand is in this movie called Eaten Alive later on in the mid to later 70s, and it's like this like weird horror movie to see him in it, so it's kind of interesting. But no, he plays a really good character in it. He plays off of John Wayne really well in it. It really works out really cool. But it is one of the more darker films, and of course the ending, the shootout in the end, is just so, to me, surreal. There's something really surreal about it. It's pretty it's a gritty movie. I think this is one of the more grittier of his movies that he had done, which is this one right here. And of course, next up with that one would be the Cowboys, but that's another time. But yeah, K.L. United States Marshal, really neat movie. It's one of my definitely one of my favorites. So, all right, and what's under here? We got something to talk about. Speaking of John Wayne, why not? We have a couple of 6 guns, because if you have one, that's pretty neat. But the only thing cooler than one is 2. Both in .45 Colt, 4 3/4 inch barrels. This is my 2 that I have. The Cimarrons, they're awesome. This one's got a really worn finish, and this one's kind of more of a new finish. So, 45 Long Colt, man, there was something about it, even back before I owned one of these. Just punching out big brass out of there. It's just something neat about that, man. I've always like, man, that's so cool. It's like big chunks of brass coming, you know. So, of course, I love the .45 Colt. It's just, that's the caliber that I choose to have this in. I'd like to do .44-40, but I'm a reloader, I'm a hand loader, and it's kind of, it's hard to, I don't want to deal too much with a necked cartridge, but I may, if the availability on the brass on that you know, if I can have a supply of it or something, I may look into getting a .44-40 and doing some hand loads for it, because I think it's a unique cartridge and it's really cool. But definitely I love the .45 Colt. The .45 Colt is so neat, and these guns are just awesome. If you've never messed with one or shot one, you gotta do it. You really do, because this is such a cool gun. I put the yellow grips on both. These are my own grips that I make. So yeah, that's and then of course I got the belt rig, and the belt rig. This is a pretty close copy to the Duke's belt. The suede belt here is made by Hunter Leather. They're out of Westminster, Colorado. Now I used to live in Longmont, Colorado, so I wanted to support these guys. I called them up on the phone and bought it directly from them, and they were actually really cool people. They gave me a nice little discount for being a former resident. And the holster here, I got it actually from Cabela's years ago. It's called a Galco, and it's got that thick band around it that's kind of similar to what John Wayne's got. So Hunter Leather does actually make their own Duke style holsters. So I'm gonna get another one from them. I should get another backup belt and a holster from them, just because it's such a good belt. It really is. It's an exact close replica of it. I mean, this is his infamous belt you see him wearing in how many of his movies. So But yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed today's radio show and really appreciate it. So as far as the 7 questions go, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tag one person. That is if they actually have, if you made it this far in the video. But you know who I'm gonna tag? I'm gonna go ahead and tag you, the Arizona Ghost Riders. You're gonna get tagged in the 7 questions. So the 7 questions are for you. Now you might have to write this down, as I did. Again, why did you do YouTube? Where did you get your name from? And how long you've been doing YouTube? What do you record with? Do you make your own thumbnails? And who does your intro and outro? And will you ever quit YouTube? So that's it right there. I'm gonna tag you right there. Arizona Ghost Riders, you have been tagged in this. And thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend. Some of us probably came crawling over to the computer or screen here because of all the turkey we ate. So, all right. Hopefully you've recovered from that. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Again, make sure you're watching this video on the BATJAC J.W channel. Hopefully it's not been stolen and reposted somewhere else. Anyway, thanks for watching.